And the flat Earth map, of course, always usually has an ice wall around it, or some sort of circle, kind of like the Bible says, the circle of the earth. And what's beyond that is what most of us believe to be the firmament and where it meets the earth. Not exactly an edge that you can fall off of like they have in the famous pictures that you saw in your history books, or the ones floating around on YouTube. Anytime you look up flat earth, they just see a disc. That's not the shape of the earth at all. And the earth has a foundation, you know, it's got a firmament, lots of different things. But I'm not too sure about what's beyond Antarctica. There could be more land, okay? Really have no clue. There's lots of different maps floating around with things beyond Antarctica and claims of finding really old maps that have continents beyond it. Could be lots of resources out there. They could be hiding a lot more, but I really don't know. But either way, there is a large ice wall, and they did explore beyond it, and what they found caused them to do some really crazy things immediately after the death of Admiral Byrd. So let's look at what someone has to say. His name is Rob Skiba. If you've never heard of him, here is his website called testingtheglobe.com. It's a really cool website where he breaks down a lot of his research and findings, but he's got a YouTube channel. He was a biblical scholar at one point, not wanting to prove the earth was flat. He's looking for the curve and ends up becoming one of us crazy people wearing the tinfoil hats. But really good guy, really unbiased, but has uncovered some really cool things, especially about these operations in Antarctica and how they really kind of reveal that they discovered that the Bible was true and that there was a firmament. So pay attention to the stuff he has to say. He does a really good breakdown of this, and it's pretty cool information if you weren't aware of it. So pay attention and take some notes.
Okay, let's put the chronology here. You got, again, Operation High Jump 46 through 47, Operation Deep Freeze 55 to 56. He dies in 57. NASA's formed in 1958. Then after Operation Deep Freeze and whatever weirdness took place down there, everybody leaves there, leaves Antarctica, and they go and form this Antarctic Treaty and put that into place in 1961. The original signatories were the 12 countries active in Antarctica during the International Geophysical Year 1957 to 58. These countries had established over 50 Antarctic stations for the International Geophysical Year. Something happened down there after Operation Deep Freeze, and presumably about the time that Admiral Byrd died. So all these nations that I just talked about here, they leave there, they come back, they sign this Antarctic Treaty. At the same time, NASA is formed, and right away, the United States and Russia start launching high-altitude nuclear bombs in the atmosphere. If they're trying to avoid a conspiracy, they're not helping with the names. You've heard me say it before. I'm going to say it again. You know, you got Operation High Jump, Operation Deep Freeze. NASA's formed. They signed this Antarctic Treaty. And then when you look at the high-altitude nuclear bomb tests, the Thor missile was also used to lift warheads into near space to conduct high-altitude nuclear explosion tests. These shots were collectively called Operation Fishbowl. A series of high-altitude nuclear tests in 1962 that were carried out by the United States as part of the larger Operation Dominic nuclear test program. Now, with the tinfoil hat on, playing conspiracy theory here, the flat earthers are claiming, and I think it's a reasonable claim, that, you know, if that model is true, then we know we have a circle, the circle of the earth as described in the Bible, surrounded by Antarctica, the outer rim, that has a 200 or 300 foot ice wall, cliff, that keeps everything in, hence Operation High Jump. You got to get over that, right? So it looks like, at least from the flat earther perspective, that probably during Operation Deep Freeze, they may have found the edge of the dome, presumably anywhere from 800 to 1,200 miles inland from the coast. Then everybody pulls out, signs this treaty, says nobody can go back except under the express guidelines of the international community that signed the treaty. So then all of a sudden the United States and Russia engaged in these high altitude nuclear tests, and the United States calls theirs Operation Dominic, within which we have Operation Fishbowl. So it appears that whatever happened in Antarctica, everybody got kind of maybe nervous or excited or whatever and said, okay, what is the deal? Our assumption is the solar system is, you know, set up in the Copernican model, and but yet maybe they found a dome and they started to question all that. So the first thing they do is send out probes to go, wait a minute, what in the world? If we're in a dome, how high does this thing go? So they start launching high altitude nuclear bombs. And if you look at the videos on Operation Fishbowl and Starfish Prime and all those high altitude tests, I mean, it looks like they're hitting something up there. I mean, at least from a conspiratorial tinfoil hat wearing perspective, that's what it looks like. Now, this is what blew my mind. So, you know, you talk about Operation Fishbowl, but check this out. I'm going to take you to, I'll put the screen share back up here. Take you to a one of those name websites. I like using behindthename.com. Look up the name Dominic, and again, just double check it here. Dominic, D-O-M-I-N-I-C. Look up Dominic, D-O-M-I-N-I-C, from the late Latin name Dominicus, meaning of the Lord. Fishbowl is part of Operation Dominic. It looks like they are sending high altitude nuclear bombs to test the fishbowl of the Lord, i.e. the firmament. Yeah, this is definitely one of those things to make you go,
Although we weren't able to shatter that highest, hardest glass ceiling this time, thanks to you, it's got about 18 million cracks in it.
The pitcher, steroid Santa Claus, kicks and deals. It's a long fly ball going back, and the ball shatters the sky, bringing the ocean itself down into the stadium. Oh, Simpson just broke this dream's reality wide open.